In today's episode, we're going to be talking about authenticity. This is something I struggle with, and I think almost everybody struggles with that imposter syndrome and like the doubt, and yeah, you already know. So with that being said, welcome to another episode of Let Us Go. I am super excited because today's been a great day. It's been a great day, and the weather is amazing, like the fresh air and then like the birds and the trees and the wind. Yeah. So with that being said, subscribe, comment, like, share. Our goal is to hit 250 by mid-September, so please support, and I will be super grateful. And definitely comment as well, like what did you relate to, insights, questions, things that you would want me to talk about in the future. Definitely do so as well. And we have a bumblebee here visiting us. I also saw like a spider, and it's a spider I've never seen before. It was like literally an orange ball with like giant legs. I was like, okay. And with that being said, let's continue the episode. Let's start the episode. So authenticity, it's something I've struggled with a lot. I feel like I can be myself like with certain aspects of my personality with family, and then I'm definitely very different, and I think we all have, I guess, as mascaras where we put on with like different people. I don't think it's definitely not bad, but it's definitely, I think it becomes an issue when we don't want to act like that anymore, and because of programming in acting that way, we unconsciously act that way, and we have to like relearn to like not do that and like take off the mascaras of like, okay, I don't want to be a people pleaser, or I don't want to like say that I'm always okay, like stuff like that. And it's been really interesting. I think one of the things I struggle with of like showing up authentically is in social media, specifically like Instagram and TikTok. Over here in YouTube, I just like say whatever I want, and I go everywhere anywhere in the topics. So this is kind of like me showing my personality a bit more like raw, and I like it because I get to like just express, but it's also annoying where like I'm just going all over the place, and I'm not really sure what I'm saying, but that's just like part of me, and yes, I could definitely work on that, and I'm going to be working on that, on like being able to express and like storytelling and whatnot. But this is me like showing up authentically and with like doubt and with fear and all that stuff together, and like but still choosing to show up, right? But with social media, it's definitely been way harder, and I've been more inconsistent for sure, because I just don't know how to show up there. I've struggled with like expressing myself, like storytelling and all that stuff, and I think with social media, the 1 minute, 2 minute, it's really hard for me to just concise. And then there's also the issue of like, what do I want to share? I feel like, and this is a conversation I had with one of my friends, shout out to Sada if she ever watches this. I told her not to, so please do not watch until later on. And we were talking about authenticity and how like my issue is that like I don't want to just show up to show up. I want like the quality videos. I want to share my knowledge and like be of service some way somehow with like when I am sharing these videos. And I feel like if I don't know what my mission is, then I can't really show up on social media because I'm not an expert in anything. Maybe my experiences are not like that like wow factor. So that definitely contributes to that. And then I see other people who show up in social media and are making tons of money, where I'm like, but how? Like, why do people choose them? And then like that kind of like sets me back. But then also encourages me because okay, people like, and I'm not trying to judge. Definitely like maybe that's just the mission that they had, and like showing people like, see, I could be whoever I want, or I could be who I am, and I get paid for it. So that's definitely a reminder for us who like tend to be more of like systems and logic, and like I need to do things maybe not perfectly. I'm definitely not being a perfectionist, as you could tell with my previous videos, but definitely it has to be meaningful. It has to be intentional, and like sometimes that also can hold us back, and it's something that I've been learning, and even now that I'm seeing it's kind of like a aha moment for me. But yeah, showing up authentically has definitely been an issue in social media, where there's been moments like where like one of my cousins, for example, she told me where there's a video specifically that I have in mind, but she was like, hey, you were smiling too much, or you were like this like rah type of feeling, and it's like, but then there's like moments where I'm like, but that's also me. It's just you. It's the side of me that you know hasn't shown up like that, you know. And I've been more of like kind of like sadness from sadness from what's it, Inside Out, the movie Inside Out. I've been kind of like that. So when I show up with like here I am, like I'm happy, I'm actually good, then they're not really used to that, so that's kind of funny as well. So it's kind of like me being able to reflect, like, okay, am I forcing it, or is that really how I'm showing up, and it's just like my family isn't used to that. So it's also been a reflection as well. And I really do hope my mic is on. Yes, it is. Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because last time I wasn't recording with my mic and the audio was really bad. But yeah, so it's little stuff like that. And I've also, through authenticity, there's also a process, especially for us who've been really disconnected with ourselves and with our environment. You know, it's been really, at least personally, I mean, I have not been diagnosed, so this is definitely not diagnostic, but I definitely feel like I've had like dissociation, or like some what's the word that I'm looking for, but something like that, because I don't remember a lot of my childhood, so I don't know why I said it like that. Sorry, but it's definitely like holding me back, because I don't really remember like how I used to be when I was little, or like the things that I used to like, or the things I used to say, the things I used to believe. And even a couple from a couple of years ago, I don't really remember much. And it's really interesting. That's why I love like creating videos like this, or like journaling. But I've definitely been more into like creating videos, because it's just easier, and you get to see it too, see it in person, like see who you were. And it's really interesting. Like when I get to see my videos from the interviews I used to do, it's like, damn, that was me. It's just so different. The vibe is so different, and like the confidence as a testa is more different. And yes, I still go through my moments of sadness and like anger and frustration. But I've also learned that that's part of being authentic. Like we can't hide those parts of ourselves, and it's just una fusión, right? Of like the black and white. And it's like, that's just us. That's we can't, when we're hiding those parts of us, our shadows, then we're still ignoring, and they're gonna come at some point. It's like when you what could be a good analogy, where you're like, oh, like a balloon. You're blowing a balloon, and the hoyo profundidades, hoyo oscuridades, the things that you don't want to talk about, the things that you're like, please don't show me. That's blowing up in the balloon. That's all inside the balloon, and then at some point he's gonna pop, because you can't hide those things all the time, and definitely not from yourself. So that's something I've learned the hard way, and thankfully with the mentorship I have with Azul, with Fred Broca, with Tanya, with the therapy sessions that I've taken, they've definitely helped me kind of like either confirm of like the things that I am, and they're going to be part of me, or two, the things I've been reprogramming, the limiting beliefs that I've been reprogramming, so that I could start living the life that I want, and then questioning those things too, like who am I? What do I want to be? What are the things that I like? What are the beliefs that I have right now that are helping me go to where I want to be? What are the limiting beliefs that are holding me back? And yeah, and thankfully I have an amazing community, or an amazing mentora, who, I'm so sorry, I just came back. And they've really helped me out a lot of like remembering, like remember who you are, and through that, it's been an authenticity process, and it's also been of accepting who I am and being able to show up the way that I am, and hopefully that being inspiring for others who, one, have felt disconnected for such a long time, and it's like they're finally able to like go sad and smile and be able to like type of feeling, you know. If you don't know, like definitely keep watching these videos, and definitely watch the people that I mentioned, so that you can start that process, because it's definitely very beautiful when you've had moments of sadness, of like of like, especially iPad, of like what they want to do with my life, what they want to do with my life, what they want to do with my life, and that's been holding me back so much because I have no fucking clue. And according to Pau, definitely go check her out. Pau, her Instagram, I believe, is paulina.alquimia. I'll leave it in the description below. But she does cartas natales or cartas astrales. I forget, like, I don't know if they're the same thing. But it's astrology. And then she also has this thing where like she combines astrology with herbalism. And I think that's such a cool thing. And I'm doing I did that, and I'm doing Artemisa with I did Artemisa for like a month and a half. And I'm gonna start with St. John's Wort, so that's such a cool process. But that's definitely a side note. And if you want to do that and you speak Spanish, definitely check her out. I'm also in her herbal class or astro alchemia class that she has. It also started. I think you might still be able to join by the time that I publish this, so definitely go check it out if you speak Spanish. And but that was a big side note. Going back to authenticity, it's been such a cool process. It's been hard and like oh, here we go again. But it's those reminders that help us, and it's a community as well that help us remind us of who we are, remind us like we gotta keep going, and have those resources. I think resources are so important, and I mentioned this before, I believe, but in one of the classes that I had in my mentorship, his name is Emiliano, and he gave us some questions to think about in his workshop that he gave us. And I thought they were very, very useful, and definitely a thing that makes you think and reflect and lets you know, okay, these are my resources. And if you feel like you don't have any resources, then this is a time to start exploring and discovering, right? So the questions from the top of my head were like, ¿qué es lo que te hace sentir? So I'm sorry that I'm saying this, but this is like how I remember them. ¿Qué es lo que te hace sentir en ese estado de expansión? De certeza y de expansión. And that's expansión is the key word, because you could feel safe, you could feel like certain, but when you're in this expansion, then that's when you feel like you could conquer the world, and you're like, yeah, we got this. And when you get to know like what makes you go into that flow, I think things definitely become easier. This is something personally I'm still trying to explore. I'm not really sure. I think podcasts, like recording the episodes, is definitely one of them, or might be one of them, because sometimes I'm like, I don't know what to say, and it's like I don't have no expertise, and I'm not really having an experience, or I don't know what to share. So there's times where it's like after I record an episode, it definitely feels like this expansion and this like type of feeling. But that was the first question. The second question, I believe it was, what makes you feel like home? What makes you feel at home? And home doesn't have to be a specific place, but it could be a feeling of like, I feel like at home. And the third question is, when everything's changing, when there's a bunch of chaos, what's that thing, or what are those moments, what are those things that help you stay grounded, right? I think for a lot of us, there could be a lot of stressful moments, a lot of like, I don't know what to do, and everything's like going to shit, and I'm like, but I think when we know what those resources are, whether it's like comedy or like reading a book or drinking a tea, whatever it is, going for a walk, talking to like Mother Nature and Mother Earth, then like those could be resources as well. And then the fourth question, I think this is the fourth question, is ¿Quién son tus aliados? Who are your allies? And allies could be like literally your grandmother, or like people that have passed away in your family and they were really close to you, and like they get to talk to you through like this, in between like this material world and like the spiritual world. Then we have nature, like the trees, flowers, like the spirits from these things, right? There's a little rat. There's a little rat. I need to go soon. Oh god. And it gave me those. I need to go. But yeah, and then there's like some I got paranoid. I got paranoid. Okay, breathe. See, these are the resources that I'm telling you. Like, it's okay. They're not gonna do anything to me. So, ¿quiénes son tus aliados, right? And your ancestors. For me personally, I have my nahuales, because I'm learning more about la cultura maya, and these these I'm definitely getting paranoid and these ancestors, grandparents, grandmothers who help us and who where we have 9 designated nahuales with their energías, their potencias. If you want to learn more about that, definitely check out Azuranite. That's where I'm learning the things that I'm learning, and definitely go check her out. If you speak Spanish, she does her things in Spanish as well. And yeah, like, just to wrap it up, because I definitely want to leave because it got me a bit paranoid. And this is what I'm saying, like, this is showing up authentically. I'm definitely not gonna something's falling and I don't know what it is. I think it's a tree messing with me. I think the tree's messing with me. But what was I saying? Yeah, wrapping this up with authenticity. I think those are the things. It's definitely a journey. I think one of the things that have helped me as well is connecting more with myself. And there's a bunch of ways that you could do, like meditation. But one of the things that we're doing right now in my mentorship and is putting oil all over our bodies in the morning and feeling the touch, las caricias, because the way we see things is how we create things as well. Like, our eyes are not just a way to, it's not just like seeing, it's a way of creating, if that makes sense, because we are co-creating our reality, and if we're seeing how we are co-creating our reality. At least that's how I understood it. Azul probably explains it way better, but tenemos que ver las cosas con amor, con esa caricia, con gozo, and that's another key word, is gozar. Like, literally goes. I saw it this time. I just need to get closer. I think it might hit my head at some point, but I think it's like the little acorn thingies. I mean, it might be that or something similar to that. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. But yeah, it's like seeing things con amor, con caricia, con ternura. I think for a lot of us, we put a lot of pressure, a lot of with societal family expectations. We gotta do this, we gotta do that, but we forget that we have this amazing world where they're helping us, this invisible realm who's helping us and wants to help us, and we just gotta choose it. And when we get to see the world like this asombro and this gozando and enjoying and being in awe, literally going back to our niña interior and be like, oh my god, this is so awesome, this is so crazy, and the milagros showing up and seeing the things. And remember, sometimes again we are gonna forget it here and there, but when we have a community, when we have a group, when we have our allies who are reminding us all the time, okay, sigue, even when you don't know. And I think, and that was a class today as well, is cuando you don't know how it's gonna happen, pero va a pasar. That de hecho que ya está. And so it's really cool to kind of know that this whole realm is helping us, and que ya se ha dado whatever it is that we desire, eso que deseamos, ya está. And we don't know how it's gonna happen, pero ya está. And no tenemos que estar esforzándose or thinking about it. It's ya está. And it's such a crazy perspective. It's such a crazy belief, I think, because that's definitely not something we're used to. But I've had miracles in my life where I'm like, how? And recently I've been before the life that I've been living with barely working and struggling with financially, but having this lifestyle, definitely not of oh my, buying, and no, but definitely more of peaceful and being able to work on myself and having time to work on myself has been a reality that I've been creating. And for a while it's been something that no, I need to do more, and I need to do this, and I need to figure it out. But Asu was saying how sometimes we're in this life that we want, maybe not completely, but there's certain things, and we forget to cherish that. And that was kind of me cayó un 20, where it's that's true. I'm living in New York, I have a family here. I'm not by myself. I get to record episodes here in this beautiful park with amazing tall trees. And yeah, it's just such a beautiful thing once you start being more present and you start realizing of the the blessings that you've had, the miracles that you've had, and like being in gratitude. And again, we could forget about, I forget about this here and there, maybe like 5 times a week now, but but definitely like, it's always gonna be fluctuating. But when we do remember, it's like, okay, let's keep going. Lo que yo quiero ya está dado. And I don't know how I went into this space, but going back to authenticity and like tying all that together, I think it's definitely been it's all of that has been part of a journey, because that has led me to gain more confidence in myself. This has led me to like right now I see myself, I'm like, damn, I look good. And Andrea, from like a month ago, 2 months ago, really was still like struggling a bit with that. And it's like now it's like, I look good, and like my hair looks nice, and my earrings that I've been wearing for since I've been working with Ish, which has been like since last month. And like I don't know, and I'm just ready for like, as I said, this has to like happen. And like I don't know how it's gonna happen, but it happened, and I'm gonna be sharing it here in the podcast. But yeah, and that's just like me living authentically. Of like, I don't know, or I don't have anything or everything figured out, but I'm here, I'm showing up, and I'm sharing the experiences that hopefully resonates with y'all. And yeah. But with that being said, remember who you are, start connecting with yourself, start watching a lot of resources. Mine are Sulanite, Ferbroca, Dania, Gracieta. If you haven't watched that episode, that one has 3,000 views, so thank you so much. Definitely, she just came out with her new book 2 weeks ago, I believe. It's the book I want to get, so start buying those books from my Amazon link, so I could start buying, so I could afford to buy it. Or a little like introduction to something I'm gonna start soon, or like I'm gonna post a video today. So I'm gonna start a community where I want a bunch of people who are ready to live the life, who want a community, want a group of people like misfits of like trying to create, or not trying, creating their own reality, co-creating their own reality with this invisible realm. And like have these witchy vibes, have these like spirituality side of them, and it's like they don't really fit into this like normal society expectations, or family, or like in their family group, and they just want a group online. And hopefully we get to meet in person as well, if you are in New York, or I get to travel and we get to meet in different parts of the world. That would be really, really awesome. But yeah, if you feel called to join this community, definitely do so. One of the core things for this community is like mini masterminds. So if you want to join, you should definitely have like either a project like that you want to start, and you just want like this push. Then definitely join, and we get to, with these individuals, everybody has their own talents, skills, expertise, su naturaleza of like doing things, or like again like the things that they have knowledge of. So through each of us sharing, one person will share the project and the obstacles and achievements, or everybody's going to have a chance with the person who shares the obstacle. We get to give our feedback. And sorry, I'm like losing my voice. I forgot to bring water. But giving feedback or giving advice or like resources or tips with whatever the person is struggling with, or the obstacle that they're facing in their project. And then also, and again, this is probably one of the biggest things, like sharing our achievements, sharing our wins, and gozando every single part of our process and our journey. So that's also another thing I'm super excited. And then sharing resources as well that I've learned in my mentorship, and sharing that knowledge as well that has helped me doing money dates, so that we talk about money relationships, and like changing those limiting beliefs. And then other surprises and any ideas are also welcome. And like I'm gonna be restructuring and doing like figuring things out along the way. So this is definitely like, if you feel this is definitely a group where everybody's figuring out, and you're not alone in that process, and we get to relate with each other. So there's gonna be a lot of bonuses, a lot of like, hopefully I get to do special guests in the future. So I'm super excited for this project. If it comes to life, and like even if one person joins, that's enough, because that means I'm doing what I'm meant to do here. And like maybe that one person needs this community, and like we're gonna be like, it's gonna be like a one-on-one type of thing. But yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for listening to this episode. I'm super excited. Don't forget to leave a comment and like, what did you think, and also if you have any ideas for other podcast episodes that you want me to make, and like either share advice or there's something in my story that you want me to share, then definitely leave in the comments down below. Subscribe, like, and share. And with that being said, have an amazing, beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.